One poor girl slew her own kin, but even so was embraced, enveloped by the abyss. 'Twas a comfort that neither moon nor sunless sky afforded her before. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dark Souls 3. My name is Rob. And I think I have figured out where Madeira might be hiding at. I think. We're gonna see. I was fiddling around down here and I found out one of these statues was an illusory wall. I came down here and I see a long ladder. And there was an item right here called Filianor's Spear Fragment. Let's have a look at that. Oh wait, that's okay, I've already looked at this. I got a different one from I think killing the actual boss. Spears of the Church. But anyway. Alright, let's see what's waiting on me down here. We're descending further and further down, deeper into madness. Antiquated plain garb and violet wrappings. This may not be where Madeira is because I don't see anything else, but there's a Lothric Knight. Straight sword like what I'm using. Let's have a look at those robes. Let's see what's going on with that. Antiquated robes. Hang on. Now here we go. Antiquated plain garb. Ordinary garb from an ancient land of sorcery. The gold embellishments betray a faint residue of magic, but this clothing was never intended for battle. When a mission visited the Ringed City long ago, one of its younger missionaries elected to stay behind. It was he who became the last recorded Spear of the Church. So the NPC that I fought as the boss for the Spears of the Church boss fight. These arm wrappings, sewn with violet cloth and embroidered with gold thread, were intended for everyday use, yet they served well enough in many a battle, enwreathing the arms of one who would go on to embrace the sword. Well then. Okay. Oh. There's a hole down here. Uh-oh. Am I going to die? Yes, but not from fall damage. Well, there's Madeira. Madeira. Wake up, Madeira. I have to talk to you. Yeah. I've, never fought this boss before. And I haven't really watched any, like, boss strategies or anything for him. I just know that he's known to be the hardest boss in the game. So I'm sure I'll do swell. Oh yeah, he takes damage really nicely here. With a buff. Whoop. Well, seems like he's probably a little meaner than Calamite. Ow. Does some of the sweepity swipes like Calamite does. Does he stomp? Does he do steppy stomps? Oh! Can I do a tail cut? Probably not. I missed the tail cuts from Dark Souls 1. I don't know why they didn't continue that. Oh lordy, what is he doing? The laser beams! No! Not the laser cannon death sentence! Okay. That doesn't bode well. I don't know, sword and board might be the way to go. Ah, man. Nope. Yeah, got it. It's not that bad. Oh! Deer and, ready to charge. I'm dead. Shit! Shit, 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 shit. Alright. So I died to that boss, like, I don't know. I'm not even going to bother counting or putting in a death montage because I think I recorded a good, um, probably 2 hours of deaths. So factor that up to however many you want to. I would say I probably died 50 times. I don't know however many times I attempted it before that picture just now. But there we go. That was Dark Eater Madeira, and that was finally the attempt where I got him. So it took a lot of practice, a lot of getting good. But I have to say, as many wild and crazy attacks as Dark Eater Madeira has, I don't think that's an unfair boss as far as Souls bosses go. And I'll tell you why. Because all of the hitboxes are like the boss doesn't have any bullshit hitboxes that I could tell. The movements, once you get used to his attacks, they each have a specific tail. It's just a matter of identifying what he's doing, knowing when you can jump in and attack, and knowing when to dodge and how to dodge. And after figuring all that out, as you can see, I was finally able to beat him. I had to use like all my Estus, and I had a Divine Blessing at the ready just in case. But I didn't end up having to use that. So, yeah. Okay. Dark Eater Madeira. Let's have a look at his soul here. And see, that's the thing. I don't mind a difficult boss that gives me trouble. And this is actually from the time I started this particular part when I first challenged Madeira. It's the next day. Like, I literally got to a point where I was tired and hungry and I need to just put the game down and try it again later. I don't mind a boss that gives me that much difficulty if I feel like it's fair. And even though that boss was really, really intense, I do think it was fair. Now, is it the hardest boss I've fought in the entire Souls series? I don't know. It's tough to say. You know, you've got something like I think this is probably a harder boss than say Orphan Koss. Um, I think back to some of the bosses in Dark Souls 2's DLC, which were probably less hard but more bullshit because of hitboxes and things like that from that game. But yeah. So anyway, all that stuff aside, we have the soul of Dark Eater Madeira, which is just as black as the soul of Manus from Dark Souls 1. That's kind of what it reminds me of just looking at it. And just looking at this little graphic, it appears that almost in the very center, that looks like a humanity sprite with the two little eyes. But let's read the description here. Madeira, descendant of archdragons, was raised by the gods, and owing to his immortality was given a duty to eternally battle the dark, a duty that he would never forget even after the gods perished. So that's interesting. Like Dark Souls 1 seems to indicate that the gods were like they had wiped out all of the. Well, his soul says archdragons. Doesn't say ancient dragons. So I don't know. That doesn't sound like something Gwen would do. You know, raising a dragon. That sounds like something the Nameless King would do. But the Nameless King, I don't know. It never says whether the Nameless King had he allied himself with the ancient dragons, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he allied himself with like all humans, even though we know that Havel and the followers of Havel, at least it would seem, allied themselves to him. So I don't know. Seems that Madeira, his purpose, battle the dark, or also the abyss, and yet his soul appears to have been influenced by the abyss just looking at it and humanity. So I don't know. There's a lot of different directions you could go with that lore, and a lot of different conclusions you could draw. And I don't know, I don't have enough caffeine in my system to really give a good exposition on that. But really interesting stuff. And he also dropped Spears of the Church, I think, which is a covenant, maybe. I'm actually not totally sure on that. Oh yeah, there we go. Spears of the Church. A green rusted ornament of young grass, the crest of Princess Filianore. Equipped to join the Spears of the Church covenant, the Spears of the Church watch over the princess's slumber, and when the church is compromised by a trespasser, the Judicator summons them as loyal spirits to eliminate the threat. Summon automatic while this is equipped. Loyal spirits summoned as Spears of the Church are granted a blessing of protection. So with this, you can become the Spear of the Church boss, and it's like a PvP boss fight. Again, the other Souls games that have done this are Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. Yeah, Dark Souls 1 never did anything like that, so that's how you can do that. Alright. That was something. That's a good boss fight. I liked it. You know, as many times as I died, I probably died more to him than I did to maybe any other boss. What's another boss I came close to dying that much to? Sister Frida. Which again, Sister Frida's a good design boss fight. I just didn't like all the different phases to it and how relentless she was in the third phase, but I don't know. If I had approached that boss fight with a different mindset instead of dread, who knows if I would have felt differently about it at that time, but anyway, let's go back to Firelink Shrine. I don't know, I wouldn't call Dark Eater Madeira my favorite boss in the game. I think that honor goes to Slave Knight Gale. That's a really good one, or it was. I didn't struggle as much against Slave Knight Gale as I thought I would, but some of that could be attributed to luck. Let's see what Ludleth has to say.
Aha, thou returned, and a fine day it is. So, happened upon any twisted souls?
Oh yeah, a big one. Let me just look through. Old Moonlight. Huh. A memory of an old sword found deep within Madeira. This sorcery uses souls to grant form to the thought and attack with it. So what, you can basically summon like the memory of the Moonlight Greatsword. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Attacks are coupled with light waves, and sustaining the stance before attacking increases their speed and potency. The sword is named after Moonlight, but it is slightly different than the one fashioned of the Pale Drake's Seat. Perhaps it is rooted in an old memory from not long after the beginning. Well, alright, let's see. Is there anything else I can get with his soul? I'm looking here. Frayed Blade. A katana. Yeah, I've read about this a little bit. A dragon weapon symbolizing Dark Eater Madeira. The once exquisite blade is now stained black and frayed at the hilt. Without its sheath, it will soon crumble into nothing. Assume a holding stance in which a normal attack sends a shock wave along the earth, and a strong attack commences a series of slashes. Nah. Not interested in katanas. At least not on this character. Did I ever look at Gundir's halberd? Nah, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Nope. That's it. Okay.
I took the mantle of Lord of Cinder of mine. Choose thy fate, all the more.
Yeah, okay. Got a nice little
Welcome, host.
number of souls here.
Very well, then take.
Let's see. I'll just do Dex. Yeah, that's fine at this point. Almost got it to 60.
Farewell, Ashley.
And if I use a soul item, I can level that up one more time, I'm sure. Weary Warrior, we'll just do Nameless Soldier, that's probably enough. Maybe. Maybe I'll use one more of those. I think it said like 75,000 something. Just do that.
Welcome, host. Very well, then take.
Oh, no.
Farewell, Amy.
Then I will use one more of something else. I'll use two of these. There we go.
Welcome, host.
Maybe that'll do it.
Very then take.
No? Man, I'm like off by like a few hundred. Okay. Then let's see.
Welcome,
Okay.
host. Very well,
That
then
doesn't
take.
do it then. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Just enough. That leaves me with 17 souls. That's perfect. Okay, almost got my Dex to 60. After that, I don't know what else I would level up. I can't think of anything. Maybe Vitality, maybe Endurance. I don't know. That's cool.
Farewell, Ashen One Mace.
Alright, well, that does it for both the DLCs, and now I have nothing left to do, as far as I know, other than beat the game. So we're getting really close, and then I'll be able to start on my next project, which I'm gonna be doing the Demon Souls remake. I've already made up my mind on that. And possibly a smaller project on the side, but we'll see. I have different things in mind. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon with more Dark Souls 3, and until then, y'all take care.